Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show, April 20th, 2021. Coming live from Studio 44. Producer James is in the building. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, as always.
Great, like Tony the Tiger, he says. Pretty slow sports day, but I don't care. We're going to get after it anyway. Everybody remember, please like and subscribe down below. Hit the bell for the notifications, and they'll tell you when we're here. Live feed. I'm looking forward to a couple of things. I always say I'm looking forward to it because I pretty much am. Shout out to Mike Tomlin, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, getting extended for 3 years. One of the winningest records for any active coach in the NFL now, has a Super Bowl title. Probably will have a couple of more, but I think it's time to start making moves, especially in the draft for a potential new quarterback. Big Ben had that really horrific surgery 2 years ago, came back last year, week 11. Probably should say week 12 because they were 11-0 throughout the season. And then in week 12, downfall. They really almost should have lost to the Cowboys too in that week 11. So I think his arm just had fatigue. It wasn't ready to go, 16 weeks. Now this coming year it'll be 17 weeks because they've added another week. So hopefully they get that under control. But I think it's time for sure. Got to replace James Conner. Got to get a running back in there. Probably, depending how things go. If it was me in the first round of the draft, the way things are cooking right now, you'd probably have to go after Najee Harris, the running back at Alabama. I think that's the best fit for them. People are saying that he reminds them of Le'Veon Bell when he was coming out. So that would be a real similar type of style because Le'Veon got drafted out of Michigan State to go play at the Steelers. So maybe you can have that same type of back, catch out of the backfield, run great. And if you need to, he can jump 10 feet in the air in full pads over other human beings playing at the highest level in the NFL. But I think in this later rounds, you definitely got to go start looking for a quarterback or try to get one in free agency. Maybe, if the love ain't all there in Wisconsin, maybe you bring Aaron Rodgers over to Pittsburgh for a couple of years. I know that may not sit too well with producer James over there. A little steamy. I see the steam coming out of his ears a little bit after you did have that Funko last night. I saw you put that up, man. It looked good in your collection.
Yeah.
You have a collection too.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised. I know you had told me about it a little bit, and I don't know. For me, I think a collection is 2 or 3. But you had rows and columns.
Yeah. I probably have total maybe 300.
That's quite a collection. That's quite a collection. But yeah, I think the Steelers are going to have a good time in the draft, especially where they're sitting towards the end. And the running backs are so, I don't want to say they're devalued, but they just don't have as much importance right now, as especially the quarterbacks and the wide receivers, which is so heavy in this draft this year. And so for the Steelers to be at need at running back and being as far back in the draft where they are, I think they're sitting pretty to land Najee Harris or Travis Etienne, depending on who's going to come out after that. But I think for them, really good moves. And then also today, the Miami Dolphins had picked up T.J. Fluker, who was a former 11th round or number 11 overall pick when he got drafted. So for him to get signed up, I think that's going to do one or two things. Definitely protect Tua Tagovailoa. But then if Tua, where Miami's drafting at 6, they got a couple of options. I think for sure you land a high-end receiver threat. And if it's Kyle Pitts at 6, great. If it's Jamar Chase, if it's Devontae Smith, cool. But at the same time, it's you got to make sure you got a weapon because Tua's not going to have the weapons. And Will Fuller, who played for the Houston Texans his whole career out of Notre Dame, is not going to have the ability to go 17 weeks. He's never gone 16 weeks. And so for that kind of guy, it's run a 9-rep, pop a hamstring. That's usually how his MO holds up. Yeah, man, I see you pulling up the comments there. If y'all want to get into the comment section, producer James will be monitoring that throughout the evening. Got a big show today. Couple of offers coming out of the ATX. Couple of quarterbacks offered in the Austin area. We'll get to that probably in the second segment. And then we're going to be talking a little bit of boxing. May 1st, big heavyweight match between two Mexican fighters, American Mexican fighters. I guess they were born here, but Mexican heritage. With Andy Ruiz Jr., who's looking very svelte, very fit after coming out of the camp with Canelo Alvarez while he was training for his fight. And Andy Ruiz Jr. will be facing Chris Arreola, I believe, who is a little bit older of a fighter, but still this pay-per-view that will be on PBC, I think is going to be really fun to kind of discuss, break down a little bit, and just talk about some of the nuances that both fighters are going to be able to, I think, apply. They're both in new camps, and I think for Andy Ruiz Jr., his weight loss, I mean, he's saying when he lost to Joshua the second time, he's saying he was weighing 310. I'm big body. He's like 6 foot. He wasn't 310. He was maybe like 330, 335. I mean, I know what a body looks like. I mean, I can kind of size up, body pretty good. But now he's saying he's weighing like 255s, and you see the photos of before and after, and you're like, yeah, I think he is 255. I think he's going to be really conditioned. I think the types of drills that they're doing in there are going to be really interesting to kind of how it's going to apply and translate to the fight. But we'll get into more of that a little bit later. As we move forward, I'm going to be, continue to go a little bit more in depth into the NFL draft, how we talked about a little bit further. And then we're going to close it out with UFC 261 again, just kind of have a little bit more discussion. Probably not as heated as yesterday, but definitely going to have a good time with it. Anything that you're looking forward to the draft that maybe you're learning as we're kind of moving forward? We've really talked a lot about quarterbacks. Now we're going to start talking about teams who are in need, especially like Dallas. They're in need of a defender. Definitely everybody loves talking about Dallas. But I think once we get closer to probably the middle of the rounds are when things are going to get haywire. We're going to have offensive linemen coming off the board, and people really aren't going to really know who they are. And we'll get into that probably on Thursday. But for today, I want to get producer James's thoughts on the football life. I don't know if you know this either too, James. Like, high school spring football is already kicked off. There's practices going on like early in the morning. Kids are getting there at 5:30 in the morning. Practices are in the afternoon. Like, there's practices going on right now.
I had no idea.
Yeah, man. It's on Twitter if you can, find the right information. But a lot of camps. We had Stony Point start yesterday, Vista Ridge today. I believe Bowie will be starting this week as well, and then a lot of teams will be starting next week. And a lot of the spring games will be commencing probably middle of May, if I'm right. I think I'm right. So there's going to be a lot of games. There's going to be potential opportunities to go out and see some of these things. The only bad thing for us is we're on air when all that's really going on. So we might have to figure something out. Maybe get to a game just to kind of go enjoy, just to get out there. But for you, kind of going along this process and learning what you've learned so far, I see you too, man. I saw you putting out that Braylon James Oregon offer. You're in the mix. What have you learned so far that you feel positive about in your growth in the high school football arena, college football, pro football? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I guess just seeing the progression from these players, from these young athletes, seeing how bright the future looks for them, because they work hard. I feel like they don't live the normal life of a normal high, or definitely not the life that I lived when I was in high school. They're working hard to get to where they want to be, especially guys like Braylon James. I see him putting in the work and all of that stuff. So it's pretty cool. There's definitely a level of maturity there.
Right.
That you almost forget that they're kids.
It's 15, 16 years old. Yeah.
So it's cool. I'm looking forward to getting out there, like you said, to just go enjoy the environment and watch a football game.
Right. And especially I think looking at it in a different lens, you're going to be looking at it more of a journalistic, more of a media lens, gathering information is really what I'm saying. And, just having that understanding of okay, this is what it takes for these athletes to perform at the highest level. And the really cool thing I think for you that I'm going to get to experience is you're going to get to go from a very novice level, a basic level, and you're going to get thrust into the elite talent in the Austin area, which is elite talent in the state. I mean, you got to remember, not only does, Houston and some of these other schools have state titles, but like so does Austin. Like we have state title contenders and state title holders currently. So you'll be able to see like, and you're going to notice, you'll be like, oh, this guy's really good and this guy's just good. And then you'll be able to tell the difference like before. You'll start remembering names. You'll start knowing names. Things will just be like on recall for you. It's more as you get into like the groove of, the coverage that you're going to be exposed to, which is, it's fun. That's the biggest thing is like, I try to tell people is like, if you're curious about this and you have an opportunity to like have access, it's going to be a good time. And I don't know, I'm looking forward to that for you. Cause I want to just kind of see how you can be like, oh, I saw that guy. And then in like 3 years, be like, oh, I remember when he was coming to high school, he's getting drafted. You're going to be able to have like those moments, which is cool. All right, guys, it's 13 minutes after the hour. Let's get into a quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking a little bit more high school Austin recruiting news, and then it's going to be combat sports. It's pretty dry right now, which is all good, but maybe we'll get a recap of Winter Soldier and Falcon when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show, getting into a little high school sports action. One little quick note out of Caldwell County. Shout out to Nate Langford, the new head coach for the Luling Eagles. He was formerly coming over as the defensive coordinator for the Seguin Matadors, who ended up winning a district title last year. Shout out to Coach Langford getting that job. I think he'll be a really solid force to turn the Eagles around in their program. So I'm expecting some nice things out of his classification. I think they're in, I want to say 2A, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's 3A. But that's all depending on their enrollment. So shout out to Coach Langford coming over from Seguin, getting the head coaching job at the Luling Eagles. A couple of offers that trickled in today. Central University is back at it, doing what they do. This time they go after Bowie's quarterback, Diego Tello, who is he's not a ranked prospect yet, but he is coming into his second year with the Bulldogs, leading them. So, again, he's in that tough district, vaunted 26-6A, with teams like, Del Valle, San Marcos, Lake Travis, Austin High, and then, of course, Westlake. So, it's a tough district, but they're going to be better for it, especially if they can sneak into the playoffs, which if they're going to do it, they need to do it this year before those other programs in San Marcos and Del Valle get going. But as I did mention before, Lake Travis quarterback Bo Edmondson has been offered, who is a 4-star recruit, has been offered by Penn State University. So it's a big offer coming in for a junior right now who is probably going to be getting his spring football soon. So going into his junior year, he'll be holding, I believe, 5 offers, and of course over the summer with 7-on-7, it'll just grow immensely, especially with Caleb Burton. And I have a really strong feeling that Big Ten offer that Penn State extended was due to the fact that Caleb Burton, who is an Ohio State commit, and they're in the Big Ten, is probably a direct result. But just one of those residual events that I thought would occur with Caleb going to Lake Travis. And it's already kind of showing a little bit of fruit. But for the players that I want to see, especially the Bird brothers, Noah and Nicholas, and then, of course, again, Trinette Estes, I think, is going to be another big residual recipient of some potential big-time offers, just due to the fact that the Bird brothers have speed. They're track guys, and Trinette Estes is just an all-around utilitarian who can kind of put the ball or get the ball wherever it needs to be on the field. So shout out to Bo Edmondson getting that offer. He'll be leading them going into his junior year as the QB1 for the Lake Travis Cavaliers. I don't know, not as much high school news as I thought would be happening. I thought there would be like a big explosion with spring football kind of getting underway. Maybe some of the events that happened this weekend have kind of slowed it down a little bit. Maybe there's been limited communication with players and coaches, which could be totally understandable with the very difficult time we've had. But I'm looking forward to more big things happening in this area as far as recruiting goes as we move forward. So I'm looking forward to that. It's also the end of the year. A lot of prom was going on this past weekend. So another probably factor that's going to be limiting communication between schools and potential prospects. So that's kind of another thing to kind of take into consideration moving forward.
Did you attend prom when you were in school?
Yeah, man, both years.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't.
Why not?
I don't know. I just wasn't my thing.
I went stag my senior year. I just went with myself. Yeah, the girl I had asked, she said no. And I was like, I'm only asking one girl. She said no. So I was like,
okay.
Well, then I'm going by myself then. I'm going to party it up. And there would be, like, it was kind of crazy because some of the other girls that, like, they didn't go with me, be like, oh, can I go with you? And I'm like, no. I was like, well, I'm not going to go, like, pay for, like, all this stuff, like, last minute. I'm like, no, I'm going by myself. I'm gonna dance with everybody that I want to dance with. I don't have to, like, hey, like, some of the dudes were kind of pissed because I was like, asking, like, hey, can I dance with, your date? No, man. I was like, do you want to dance? And they're like, yeah. So we went to go dance.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Nothing. What was going to happen? Like, what's going to happen? There's like all these teachers, all these chaperones. What's going to happen? Nobody's like, well, not that I know of. Nobody was drinking that I knew of. Maybe they were like afterwards. Yeah, too many stories. I got stories of after prom we're not going to be telling. But let's put it this way. We went to IHOP. I went to IHOP. We went to IHOP, and then I went home. But I was a square in high school, man. I was like super square. Yeah. And then then I had to let the bad boy out once I got out. Finished college and just get loose. No, not really. But I had a good time, man. It was junior year was kind of odd, but for the most part, prom was fun. I mean, I had a good time. Like, I had a really good group of buddies, and just enjoyed myself. It was kind of cool. It was cool because I felt like we could go just get a table, and it was just all of us. It was pretty fun. That's what I remember from it the most. Everybody just had a good time. Everybody was like-minded, and nobody was like, egos weren't involved yet, and so it was a fun time. That's sort of what I remember. So why didn't you want to go? Why didn't you go?
I don't know. It just wasn't my thing at the time. If I could go back, like
you'd do it again.
Yeah, I'd probably end up going and stuff. Yeah. I just kind of wasn't really social at the time.
It's a lot of hoopla. It's a lot of like especially now, like it's all like because it's social media, pictures and. I don't even want to know what parents spend now because like these kids, they want like custom suits and like custom dresses. And remember like when getting a limo was like a thing for a quinceañera or for like going to the prom. These kids, they want like special vehicles. And I'm just like, hey man, if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. But
like, Mom, rent me a Lamborghini so I can drive.
All I know is I went in I drove in my 90. No, I can't. I'm lying. I drove in. I had a pretty nice car. I ain't gonna lie. I had a pretty nice car. I'm not gonna say what it was, but everybody watching, they're like, Paul, you're full of shit. They're like, we know what you were driving. Like, yeah, I had a nice ride. Shout out to the family for that one. Yeah, man, it was fun. I think everybody should go. Let's put it this way. If you can manage it, whenever your kids go to prom, just be like, hey, I'm going to chaperone, but I'll just be in the shadow. You can just kind of experience. That would be something fun to do.
Like, hey, I finally went to prom.
Yeah. Or hey, or you just, you and your lady just go chaperone and,
I don't think any I know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. No. I'm not saying that parents don't, but I don't think.
I bet you they do.
Yeah. I just don't think like it's appealing to like the kiddos. They kind of want to go out and hang out for the night with their friends and stuff, not have to worry about their parents lurking in the shadows. That's
what afterwards is for.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I mean, I think it's just one of those things where you're just gonna be like, hey, like if you told your kids like I didn't get to go to mine, I'd like to chaperone yours. I think they would be understanding. Kids are different now these days. They're like, oh, that's cool. Like I want to help you do that. I want to help you have that life experience. That's what kids are like nowadays.
Not mine.
Especially if you talk. Well, if you talk to them, if you tell them like, hey, I didn't get to do mine because I was focused on other things. You just gotta hope they don't ask what were other things.
Yeah, like what?
That's the thing. It's like it's not important. What is important is that you have the best time. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't have any kids. I shouldn't be giving you like life experience. It's just a thought. It popped in my brain. For all the parents, if you do have parents and you do have kids, like. Drop it in the comments. Am I right? What do you think James should do? Should he tell his kids, like, hey, I'm going to chaperone your prom because I didn't get to mine? Let us know in the comments. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to recap on Winter Soldier and Falcon. James will be giving that when we get back. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show coming out of Studio 44. Always another friendly reminder, we'll be having P-Rod's draft party coming up on April 29th. We'll be hosting a live coverage of the NFL draft commencing 7 o'clock on April 29th. It's going to go late into the night. We appreciate you joining us. We're going to be covering pretty much all the teams that are going to be up there. We're going to have a special guest. I need to get that finalized guest list to producer James so he can start building these, what are they called, overlays? Yeah, get those overlays straight and ready to rock. Pretty much we're going to have a guest per team, the team that they're a favorite of. So luckily we have a diverse group of friends of the show who will be able to kind of join us and get their take. Especially, I'm looking forward to yours though, because if the Packers fuck it up again, I want you to have a crazy reaction. Crazy.
Expecting a meltdown or what?
I want a meltdown. if they pick like, so I don't know if you know, but they're scheduled like they're supposed to pick either offensive lineman or defensive lineman, and I just think that's unacceptable. And if they draft like a linebacker, man, they've really screwed the pooch at that time if they do that. But you were talking, talk to us a little bit about this Winter Soldier. What is it? What's it really called? I know I always mess it up.
It's called Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's what I call Braylon. I call him Falcon because he's got a big wingspan.
Yeah.
Anyways, talk about this show. Like, what's where are we at with it? What's the is it in the Marvel universe or is it somewhere else?
Yeah, it takes place I think like definitely after Avengers Endgame.
Okay.
Yeah, so tomorrow or Friday this week is the season finale of it.
Really?
Yeah, there's only 6 episodes.
Okay.
They don't know if there's gonna be any more. They're putting out these little series, but they're kind of just like their own thing. They're not necessarily like new shows like that are gonna go on for seasons. It's kind of just like it's almost like a movie, but just spread out, you know. Which
like,
I kind of prefer because you get more story, and instead of cramming it all into like a 3-hour movie like they.
Yeah,
like
but
Marvel
you gotta wait. That's the thing I don't like. I know you don't mind it.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
Yeah.
So, but what's going on with the story?
So I mean next episode they're gonna fight like the whole, I guess the villain, like the person they've been kind of chasing.
Who's the villain?
It's this girl. I forgot her name. She's like, well, she's not even a girl. She's like a young. She's probably like in her maybe like late teens, maybe early 20s. But they took that super soldier serum that makes them like
okay.
what Captain America is basically made of.
So they both took it.
Well,
Bucky?
that girl, no. Bucky's already a super soldier.
Okay.
The Winter Soldier.
Shows how much I know.
Yeah, and but Falcon is just, you know. So at the beginning of the series, what happened was I don't know if you remember at the end of Avengers Endgame, Captain America gave Falcon the shield,
right?
Because he went back and kind of lived his life with his woman back in, you know, when they because he was frozen, so he didn't get to. So anyways, so at the beginning, the Falcon's like, I can't take this. The shield's not mine. So he gives it to the government. They're supposed to put it in a museum, but they come out with a new Captain America, and he's not a super soldier, but he's this other guy. He's like a badass from the army, or it might have been the Marines.
Does he have that serum in him?
No.
So he's just another dude.
Yeah, he's just a normal dude.
He's weak,
wielding the shield.
That's
yeah,
weak.
so he gets his ass kicked, like, and he's such a douchebag, dude. Such a dude.
Is it done on purpose? Is it supposed to be that kind of character?
Yeah, people hated him, and to the point where the actor was receiving death threats.
Really?
Which I think is
that's just dumb.
That's dumb. Yeah, I mean that just means he's obviously playing his role like he's
doing his
supposed
job.
to. So he, you know, he just like he loses it eventually. This new Captain America, and he
like in the show.
Yeah, he loses it. He his partner dies because they're basically just fighting a fight that he's not supposed to be. You know, he has no business. You know, chasing after this. He just messes everything up, and they get in a fight, and his partner he loses his life, and so that just pushes him over the edge. He like follows the guy that he thinks killed him, and he just freaking kills him with the shield like in front of everybody. and so they stripped the shield away from him. But he had found some of that serum, and he kind of just like stashed it away. But you don't see him take it. But he's like asking his partner before he died. He's like, "If you had a chance to drink the serum, would you?" You knew he was gonna do it because I think that was like kind of the thing he was missing, was that he wasn't as strong as Steve Rogers, and Falcon and Bucky were kind of like they're kind of superior to him. Although like Falcon, I feel like he's smart and he is like a great. He's like in good shape and all of that, but without his whole suit, I feel like he's kind of useless. You know what I mean?
He's like Iron Man.
Yeah, pretty much.
Same thing.
Yeah. Well, Tony Stark's pretty smart.
Well, isn't what's his name in the movie? The character?
Sam.
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah.
That's right, Sam.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's cool. I mean, sounds a little weak.
Yeah. So
what sounds weak is that they put that Captain America 2.0.
Well, so what happens is after that incident, like everyone saw that, people were recording it and stuff, so they stripped him of his shield and they gave him a dishonorable discharge, no benefits.
Wow.
And he's like in front of the court and he's like, "I still am Captain America," and he like walks off.
So he's gonna be a bad guy in the future.
Yeah, I think he obviously, you see there's one battle, like after he has this conversation about he's contemplating taking the serum, he has a battle and you can definitely tell that he's stronger and he's just like pissed off and like, dude, you see the progression of him like getting pushed over the edge,
So you're telling me what he did was he got pushed over to the dark side.
Yeah, sure did.
That's how they're created, folks. Because Yoda once said, "Fear turns to hate, hate turns," or something like that. I would just totally jacked it up. Fear turns to hate, hate turns to anger, anger turns to something.
Anger leads to the dark side.
To the dark side.
Yeah. So where we're at now, this like mysterious chick, like she went to go talk to him, and she's like, "Hey, I would have killed that guy too." And she's like, she's like,
"Iron him up."
Yeah, she's like, "I'm gonna call you and you need to answer." And she leaves him a card, but it's like blank. So he's like, what is this card? So she's like, I don't know what she's gonna have to do with, obviously something.
They run that under a black light.
Yeah. So they have Falcon has a shield now, and he's like training. He's like, it looks like he's obviously gonna fill the role, which I thought this was.
That's what he was supposed to do.
Yeah,
but it makes sense. Like the story's like, he doesn't want it. We're gonna give it to somebody else. They're gonna screw it up, and he's gonna feel obligated. Sam's gonna feel obligated to pick it up.
Yeah.
Doesn't this sound like that to you?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we are. They're gonna fight. These people that they've been kind of chasing the whole show. I know they're gonna fight, but what's his name? The Falcon suit, it got like ripped apart, and he kind of like he was like, keep it. I don't want it no more. And Bucky took him like it's like a briefcase. He's like, here's a gift from the Wakandans, and so I'm guessing it's like a new suit,
a better
like,
suit,
badass, yeah. And so yeah, that's they didn't reveal what's in it, but like they showed him opening it, and he's like, because he's getting ready to go, and he's just like looking at it, and then it ends. Marvel.
Yeah, so it's that suit's obviously gonna be made out of
vibranium.
Vibranium, yeah.
Yep.
It's probably gonna have that super technology, and it's gonna be cool. It's probably gonna be nice.
Yeah,
it's probably gonna be nice. Just got notified. ONE FC on TNT tomorrow. They're doing a 24-hour TikTok event all day long until. So I guess they're getting into the TikTok game too.
What does it consist of?
Maybe the highlights. I could see them posting because they post TikTok. I mean, they post highlights on Reels and Instagram. Well, that's the same thing as TikTok. So ONE FC is probably just going to run like nonstop knockouts of the Muay Thai and the MMA fights that they have on their program. I mean, they had 2 last week. And ONE FC's tomorrow. Ariola Ruiz is in 2 weeks. UFC 261's on Saturday. Canelo fights in, 3 weeks. And then you're going to be in Houston on May 15th. If they don't cancel that fight.
Why would they cancel it?
I don't know. What if somebody gets an injury? What if somebody gets COVID? What if something?
Stay optimistic.
What if this happened? What if Nate Diaz got hurt in training, and Nick Diaz was like, "I'll take his spot, dude." At May 15th in Houston,
I'll be there.
That would be huge, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, They've shown. I mean, everybody's hyping him up to like come back. Nick Diaz. I thought you'd be more excited. I mean, I just thought you'd have.
Dude, I've been waiting on that guy to come back for like so long, man. I mean, he's probably like my favorite fighter, but he's gotten in trouble. Like the what is it? Nevada State Athletic Commission
I
suspended him.
thought it was because he was smoking marijuana.
Yeah, that's kind of.
But that's it, right? That's all what it is.
Yeah, pretty.
He had
much.
to like, what was it? How long suspension?
He had like I think they had given him like a 5-year suspension, I want to say, or a 4-year, I think. And then I think that got they like brought it back down.
And then now it's like legal in Nevada.
Yeah, pretty much.
It doesn't. I don't. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. It just seems kind of ironic. It's like if your state law changed the laws, and you have somebody on suspension for who broke that previous law, wouldn't his suspension be like null and void when the laws changed?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it make sense? The commission for them, it's a state entity. It's a state agency.
I don't even see how that's performance enhancing, to be honest with you.
I know. I mean, like make him more sleepy, right?
Yeah,
Like
or
make him more tired,
slow, or whatever.
lethargic.
Yeah.
Anxiety.
They said when he fought, I don't know if you saw Nick Diaz. It was in Pride when Pride went to Las Vegas and they did a card over there. Nick Diaz fought Takanori Gomi, and it was it was like a brawl.
I saw that highlight.
Yeah. Supposedly he was like high before the fight.
Nate?
Nick.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if like half the fighters are high before they get in the ring. I just don't know. Did they test after?
I think now I think recently they just stopped testing for marijuana. I think so.
Yeah. So let's put it this way: everybody who is openly smoking or openly pro marijuana, they're probably high getting into the ring. They're right. Logically makes sense, right? Just makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I wouldn't, but
I mean,
to each his own.
I don't know, man. Today is March 20th, 2021. We're going to take a break real quick. Go take a break.
Say March 20th?
April 4/20.
I thought you said March 20th.
I thought I said April 20th, 4/20, 2021.
I have to rewind it.
I don't know, man. I'm getting kind of tired. Are you interested in that Ruiz Arreola fight at all?
Not really.
Not really?
I mean, I'll watch it, but I'm not really hyped for it.
It's not like I know that's the biggest thing for me is like I would be hyped if it was free, not free, but on cable.
Yeah.
But because it's pay-per-view, I'm kind of like, it's like a bummer. It's like a drag on him. Like, dude, this fight is not a number one contender fight. Number one. I mean, it may be the number one contender for Mexican fighter, Mexican heavyweights, maybe, but it's not for like the number one heavyweight in the world. And that's what the boxing game is. It's a world game. But I don't know, man. If Ruiz goes out there and dominates, and then whatever, I mean, he's gonna want to fight Wilder. If he destroys Arreola, he's gonna want Wilder.
Dude, I think Wilder would just.
I think you'd be surprised.
Really?
In the words of Rogan, I think you'd be. I think it would go. I think it would go past 8 or 9 rounds, because you got two dudes who throw bombs, and we've obviously seen Wilder can take a punch, and we've also seen we've all seen Ruiz take a punch too, and they've both been dropped in their previous fights. Both fights, they were both dropped.
Are there any plans currently for Wilder?
They're trying. I think that's what they're going to want to do. But I think Wilder is too focused on Fury and Joshua. I think he's just too focused with them, because whoever wins that fight between Joshua and Fury, they'll be the unified champion. And Wilder wants it. He wants that third fight with Fury, because he would love to come home and say, I'm the unified, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. That's what Wilder would want to say. And if he's like, well, you got to go fight Ruiz first, that's what I would do. I was like, go fight Ruiz. If you beat Ruiz, make the fight with Fury. And then what will happen is Fury will go defend the title, and if he wins, they're going to do a rematch with Joshua. That's what I think. But if Ruiz beats Wilder in any of those fights, Ruiz is going to want Fury, and he will get taken to school.
Did you hear all those excuses Deontay Wilder was saying about the reason why he lost to Tyson Fury?
No, not really.
It was pretty ridiculous.
The reason he lost is because Fury is a boxer and Wilder is a brawler. That's the reason he lost. I mean, that's pretty simple.
He was saying one of the things he said was that his like wardrobe that he wore to walk down.
Yeah, I remember now. It's coming back to me. Yeah.
He said it like fatigued him on the way down.
Then why the hell did you wear it? Why? You went what? You went 80 steps, 90 steps, and you were fatigued from that. Give me a break, man. Let's take a break. Let's get out of here. That's so stupid. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show. I'm just checking the Twitterverse real quick to see if there's any breaking news while we've been gone. It doesn't look like it at this time. UFC 261, Embed #1 dropped last night. I believe the second one dropped today. Get a chance to watch any of those?
Yeah.
Which one did you watch?
I watched the first one.
What'd you think?
It's cool. Get a little behind the scenes. What really caught me, I was like, because they showed Rose and Pat Barry, which is her dude or boyfriend. I don't think they're married. Might be. Yeah. Who cares? That's why I always say woman with his woman or that's why it's like whether they're girlfriend or boyfriend. Whatever.
I give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, yeah, that's your wife, that's your husband. Oh, okay, this is what I do.
So
some respect on my name.
So they're watching the fights that was on this past weekend.
Oh, they're watching Tracy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tracy Cortez.
Yeah. Yow! And they're showing like the preview for the upcoming fights, and it's like that's crazy. Yeah, like you're like watching your the hype for your fight and all of that stuff. It's pretty crazy.
She's all in those zero gravity, zero G boots.
Yeah.
Which is cool for recovery. And then the other recovery I saw her doing was giving in that ice tub.
Yeah, the ice bath.
That's real, bro. Yeah. That's real recovery.
Yeah.
Because it flushes all the lactic acid out of all your muscles and then just like get you to expel it so you can recover faster.
First person I saw do that was Vanderlei Silva.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I always knew like athletes would do that, but I saw like for MMA training and he just went like immediately after he was done working out, like he just went and like sat in an ice bath and he was like, ooh. And I was like, damn, dude.
But Rose was like neck deep.
Yeah.
She was all the way in it. But she's such a little woman too. Like she could fit in that horse trough. And then like before she got out, she like dunked her head in. It's snowing in Colorado. And then Pat Barry took a instant read thermometer and put it in the ice bath, 32.5 degrees. That's literally freezing.
Yeah.
32.5 degrees. That's nuts, bro.
See that dog get in there?
Yeah, and then it jumped in and then jumped out with no problem. Yeah. Shook off the water. It's like, it's just it is what it is. Yeah. Man, no dogs from Texas be doing all that. Be like, no, ain't even going outside. There's snow on the ground. What are you talking about? You saw what we did when we freaked out with this ice storm. We're like, no, we ain't doing no ice, Jack. Yeah, but at the same time, I bet you they're not doing any humidity either.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun to see that first Embed drop. I'm looking forward to the second one tonight. I got a little routine now that we're in the third month. We're in the third month of the show. I finally got my like days down a little bit. I think we got a groove. My only concern is that if we get to like start going to some of these spring camp games, like it's gonna throw everything off. That's the only concern I have to the football games. But I'm looking forward to the Embed tonight, and then they'll probably have one up until Friday, I would assume. I just wish they would make them longer because they're like 10 minutes, and I'm like, I need 15 minutes of content, guys. Like, this isn't long enough. You need to do more work. That's what I'm thinking in my brain. It's like, I get it. People only want to watch like 10 minutes or less. Okay, great. Drop 2 videos, but put 20 minutes of content out daily leading up to a big fight. Big card, stat card, three titles. I don't know. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, since
it's not enough, right?
3 title fight. But then, I feel like anything that doesn't satisfy you is going to leave you wanting more. You know what I mean?
But I want more of the Embed. I know I already bought the fight. That's not a problem. You're not selling me the fight. That's done. You sold me the fight when you said, we're back, full capacity. Like, when we did all that, I was in, Jack. I was like, all right, these dudes got 3 stat cards, and you got Jorge Masvidal fighting the Kamaru Usman. You got Wei Lee versus Rose. You got Shevchenko versus Andrade. Yes, it's easy purchase. Easy. Got to give the consumer more content. Dana, come on, man. We need more content. Just saying. You're the UFC on ESPN, by God. We deserve a little bit more content. Even if you put it on ESPN Plus. Because I pay for that too.
We got Dana on the line. His response to
go, Dana.
You asking for more content.
Let's go, Dana. Now, Dana wishes he sounded that bad. He'll sound like that in like another 30 years when he's a billionaire probably at that time. Shout out to Joey Diaz for the gurgle laugh. I don't know. I guess it is April 20th. I did say March 20th earlier. I just heard it in my brain, running it back in my brain through the clip.
You didn't believe me, huh?
No, I did. I was like, did I? I was doubtful for sure, 100%. So yeah, man. Anything changed? Anything thought? So we did figure out one thing. Valentina Shevchenko is not from Russia. She's from Kyrgyzstan. And did you know she has a sister who fights in the UFC too?
No.
So yeah, like she has another sister who she trains with, and they live with their dad, and I think in Colorado as well. But yeah, so it's her. They both train together.
They're both Shevchenko.
Mm-hmm. They're both Shevchenkos, and dude, she's like
Kind of a scary last name, huh?
yeah,
Shevchenko.
but they're cool, man. Like those two, they're like cool women. They just seem like they're down to do fun stuff. That's what it seems like. And she's like a real big like. I think because probably that part of the world needed to be prepared for anything. Like they're proficient with weapons, proficient with firearms. Like they're deadly killers. Like on with like MMA. Like they know how to fight in like every sense of the form, which is really cool to kind of see that because, I'm not saying American women are less than that. I'm just saying that they could do the same thing as like these girls if they wanted to. And I'm sure there's a lot of them out there like that. But just to kind of see them perform at like the highest level of MMA is also kind of cool, and her being a champion as well. So it's a fun thing, man. So I just wanted to. That's the only thing is like I already got my people. I'm riding with Valentina, I'm riding with Rose, and I'm riding with Jorge Masvidal. Those are my people, man. I just need you to come over to the other side. It's not the dark side. It's just the other side.
Yeah, I've got Valentina, and I also got. I haven't decided on Rose or Weili yet.
Come on, man.
I like Rose. I want.
I know you do.
I
yeah.
honestly want her to win, but
Yeah.
as far as like my prediction for the fight, like I don't know. I'm gonna have to give that on probably Thursday or Friday.
Really?
Yeah.
So what is the hesitation with Weili?
She went through that war with that chick Joanna, and she put a beating on her. She's tough.
Weili did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was to win the title, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
She's a tough girl. But then again, so is Rose.
Yeah, but I think with Rose, she just has that length advantage. I think if she can keep her
Reach.
at bay and then stuff her takedowns, I think that's the biggest thing. But at the same time, like we know Weili is fighting for China. Like she knows she has like China on her back. And Rose is just like, I'm fighting for me. So it's kind of like a lot more pressure. So that's why I kind of like give the advantage to Rose in this instance. That's just where I'm coming from with it. And then, of course, we know Shevchenko is just better than Andrade. And then for George, I think George is just like he said in the promo. Kamaru has not seen George's ceiling, and George has seen his. That's where it is.
It's gonna be definitely Usman is gonna bring something different to the fight. So
Like-
he's not gonna go in and do the same thing that he did the last fight.
I bet. Listen, after
I
round,
thought we talked about this yesterday.
In round three, he's going to go back to his. You're right. In the first two rounds, he's going to come with something new. But George is going to be, I think, prepared for anything, and he's going to shut it down. And in the third round, George probably takes him out of his game and turns it into a brawl. The only way I think Kamaru wins is if Kamaru just takes George down for 5 rounds straight. Like he did, like he didn't take George down, but he had him on the fence the whole fight last time. That's the only way he wins.
Gotta do what you gotta do to win.
Well, that's the thing is like, well, what if George is prepared for that? That's why you said he's going to have to come with something new, and then he's going to get tired or get frustrated and go back to his tactics. And I think that's when George is going to keep him.
I don't think because that would be expected. It's like Jorge would be expecting that to do what he did last time, put him up against a fence. So I think if that were to be Usman's game plan, it would be kind of.
I think that's going to be his game plan when he gets frustrated, not initially. And that's the thing. Unless George found something, which he could have, I think he could. And dude, remember he's getting trained by Mike Brown. That's another big critical factor. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. You should have seen his face when he said that. Yeah. I mean, come on, bro. Let's not ignore the facts here. I know it's tough. I know look, Usman is a supreme athlete. I know he is. But so is George. And George has been around the block and then back again. And fought with the best. And was fighting in the streets before that. It was raised in the streets. That's the thing. We got respect for Kamaru Usman. We got respect. I'm not saying George is gonna knock him out. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is George is gonna win.
Okay.
You still can't.
Okay.
I thought Mike Brown was gonna do it. I thought I was gonna tell you Mike Brown. You can be like, yeah, you're right. You're still just like, all right. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
Little head nod.
I'm like, yeah, you're not wrong. But I'm not saying you're right. 8:05 tomorrow, 1FC. Really didn't get to look at that. It'll be okay. Tomorrow, Dark Side of the Mic. What are the people going to be looking for? Are you going to do the phone calls again?
No, that's probably going to be once a month type of deal.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Yeah, people had fun with that.
A lot. Too many people had fun with that.
Yeah, that'll probably be a once a month type of thing. But
you should make it twice a month. Y'all should talk about it.
Once a month.
You think? It's too much. Was it too much or what?
Nah, I mean it was fun. It was really fun. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But we do have we got a big show coming up next week. Also, got some big things happening.
Yeah.
So
you'll be dropping that next week, right?
Yes.
That big news. You'll be dropping that.
Yeah.
That'll be cool. Appreciate you picking this platform to drop that information. Yeah. Tell your listeners on Tuesday. When do you want to drop it? On Tuesday or Monday?
What
for your big news?
Wednesday.
No. But you want to tell people what the news is so they go watch Wednesday.
Tuesday.
So you want to do it Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay. So tell your people to tune into this show Tuesday, and then we'll get that popped off. Little precursor.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be in the streets tomorrow, huh?
Yes, sir. Bright and early. Coffee in hand.
Looking for that pot of gold. Yeah. Man, that pot of gold's gonna be, dude. If you get one, if you find that pot of gold, send me a text.
We'll do.
You're like McAfee. You're up to something, ain't you?
Yeah, a selfie. Yeah. James is up to some #1 trending on Twitter.
I wish, dude. Maybe we can get that going on Tuesday. Hey, y'all. James is up to something.
No G.
Something. No G. We got to put an apostrophe. No, don't do that. You'll never get any traction with it. All right, guys. 8:07. That's been the show. We're going to get out of here. Look forward to seeing y'all on Thursday. We're going to get back in the studio then. We're building, guys. We're 9 days away to the NFL draft. And I'm looking forward to that. That's what I'm waiting for. Because for me, the NFL draft is the beginning of the NFL season. And until then, I bid you farewell, adieu, auf Wiedersehen, adios.